Hey, welcome back. It is episode 3 of the Legend of the Iron Fleet Express. I'm your host, Todd Baronic. Starting off like every episode, we got the standings. In the East, Orlando still undefeated at 5-0, walking into Birmingham and handing the Iron a big decisive defeat, actually. Birmingham, number 2, sitting at 3-2. I called that one. That Iron defense was good, but Orlando is just much more complete team. They are just firing on all cylinders, and it doesn't look like there's a team right now in this league that can slow them down. We'll see what happens, though. Atlanta getting their second win in a row and second win of the season, sitting at 2-3. And Memphis falling to Atlanta back in the loser bracket, sitting at 1-4. So that is the East standings. So then we've got the West. And sitting at the top of West is San Antonio and San Diego, both at 3-2, with pretty decent victories. I mean, great games. A lot of fun to watch those two games. And then you got Arizona sitting at 2-3. Not sure what's going on there. Was it the fact that Arizona figured out how to play again, or was it the fact that Coach Riley teams typically don't put opponents away, and they just don't know how to finish out a game the way they started that game? Because, man, they came out lights out for San Antonio. Then you've got Salt Lake City sitting at 1-4. So, yeah, that rounds out the West. All right, time for the power rankings. This week's theme: Ninja Turtle characters. Oh yeah, a classic and a favorite. Sitting at number 1 absolutely has to be Orlando. And who are they? Splinter and the Turtles. You've got head ball coach Spurrier. He'd be Splinter. The Turtles, that would be the Apollos, the team, the players. They are just looking unbeatable, just like the Turtles, always coming out on top. Next team for me, number 2, would be San Antonio with Shredder. Right now, San Antonio looks like the only team that could compete with Orlando due to the fact that they started so hot in that Arizona game. They just look like they could give Arizona a run for their money, but Orlando's got that edge with Splinter, just like in the first Turtles movie. Splinter ends up taking out the Shredder. I think Spurrier is a much better coach than Riley, so I think Spurrier would have some tricks up his sleeves to take down San Antonio and Mike Riley. Number 3, I've got my Birmingham Iron. That's right, new hat, Forge on, baby. I've got Birmingham sitting at number 3. They're Casey Jones. Why? Brutal, punishing attack, and it's not very pretty. They just kind of go out there and do their thing, but they'll lay down some hits. They had some good hits. They got a new quarterback, so we'll see if Price can figure out how to keep this offense going, and the defense can regroup after what Orlando was able to do to them. Number 4, I've got San Diego with Toka and Razor. If you saw the second Ninja Turtles movie from the 90s, Toka and Razor are the 2 mutants. They do a lot of damage. They're a big threat. But San Antonio, I see, is a better team. Shredder was their master, so I got to have San Diego sitting below San Antonio. This next team, number 5, I got Atlanta. Surprisingly, Atlanta is sitting at number 5 as Bebop and Rocksteady. Why? They've shown that they can deal some damage. They can go out there. They've got some offense. They've got some moves. They've got some playmakers. but they've also shown that they are incompetent. Just like Bebop and Rocksteady, there's always something that they could mess up. And it usually goes wrong for them more than it goes right. So they're on the uptick, but we all know what could happen, what they could actually become if things don't always go their way. All right, number 6, this is where a lot of you guys are going to get, I'm going to lose you here. Number 6, I've got Salt Lake City. I still see Salt Lake City as being better than these bottom 2 teams. I just do. The record's not there, but they are a good football team, and I've got them at Baxter Stockman. Why do I have them at Baxter Stockman? Erickson, smart coach. Smart dude, not as smart as Spurrier, and that showed when Orlando went out and played Salt Lake in Utah. But Baxter Stockman, he's always one of those dudes that was giving the Turtles fits. And also Shredder, always expecting big things out of Baxter Stockman and always kind of disappointed in the end. So that's where I've got Salt Lake right now. Is they're good, but they're just not quite there yet. They're just, there's always a little bit of disappointment, and sadly the disappointment comes in losses and not wins. All right, number 7, I got Memphis, and I have them at the Foot Clan. You know, they've won a game, they've dealt a blow, they have a little bit of offense, they can do some things, but more often than not, they're just not really able to do as much as you would hope they would be able to do. And number 8, Arizona. I got them at Ice Cream Kitty. Yes, that's an actual character from the Ninja Turtles. Why do I have them at Ice Cream Kitty? Well, last week I had them at Meltdown Pizza. This week they're Ice Cream Kitty because they're out in the desert and they're an ice cream kitty and they're melting. I just don't see this team progressing at the moment. And I'm not impressed. I really think that this last weekend, the only reason they climb back in that game is because Mike Riley does not know how to close out games. He does not know how to do it. Look what happened to San Antonio when they played Orlando. They could have beat them. They could have won that game and handed Orlando a loss. But no, he didn't know how to close that game out. Orlando comes back and beats them. So I think it was more that San Antonio is led by an incompetent coach than the fact that Arizona might have figured out exactly what to do to stop the San Antonio offense and eat up the San Antonio defense. I just don't see Arizona being that good of a football team at the moment. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They play Orlando this next week, and they're going to be on a 4-game losing streak. So yeah, Arizona, Ice Cream Kitty, full meltdown mode out in the desert. It's just not pretty. All right, game prediction time. So first game up, we have, as many have declared it, the Toilet Bowl. So we've got Salt Lake City taking on Memphis. 1-4 taking on 1-4. I see Salt Lake City coming out with a win. They have proven time and again that they can put points on the board. They have proven time and again that they have a good defense. Memphis has proven time and again that they don't have as good of a defense. And honestly, Mettenberger pulled a Mettenberger, threw a interception at the end of the game, and Atlanta was able to capitalize on it. So I just see Salt Lake City handing Memphis their 5th loss. Salt Lake City gets back on the win column, and that's where I see this game. Next, we have Orlando at Arizona. I already said who I was going to pick earlier, but I'm going to say it again. It is Orlando. Not even close. This is not going to be a good game unless you're an Orlando fan. This is going to be throw up a bunch of points, throw up a bunch of stats for everybody, and Arizona is going to walk away with their 4th loss in a row. All right, now you got Birmingham going out to California and playing San Diego. I've got Birmingham coming out on top of this. I just think that they are going to have a week of practice. They've got some soul searching to do. That coaching staff knows how to get their players focused. They ran into a buzzsaw last week. I mean, sorry, but Orlando is just too damn good. But Birmingham's going to go out there. That defense is they're going to bow up. They are going to play Iron Curtain defense. And the offense, led by Keith Price, they are going to score some points. They're going to move the ball. And I just don't see San Diego having the firepower to overcome it. I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a higher scoring game than a lot of the Birmingham games have been. But I don't think San Diego's got the offense to match up against a motivated Birmingham defense. The last game of the week, Atlanta taking on San Antonio. San Antonio is just too much for this team right now. They're going to come out hot again, and they're just going to get up on Atlanta. Atlanta's not going to have enough firepower to get back in the game. So that's where I see this week. So I've got Salt Lake City, Orlando, Birmingham, and San Antonio coming out of week 6 with wins. All right, time for the bold prediction of the week. My first bold prediction did not come to be. My second bold prediction from last week did not come to be. But you know what? They wouldn't be bold predictions if I always got them right. That's why I do a bold prediction every week. This week's bold prediction, Wolford gets benched. I just see Arizona playing Orlando. Orlando is going to do whatever they want on offense against that Arizona defense. And Wolford's going to throw picks. And he's going to throw them early. And it's going to cost his team a lot. And they can't leave him in like they did this last week. So I see Wolford getting benched. And that is my bold prediction of the week.